All right, everybody. It is state semifinal weekend in front of us. This is the TexAgs High School Football Show. I'm Ryan Brauninger with my colleague and coworker Jason Howell up there in the Metroplex, and we have got some tasty upcoming games this weekend. The bracket unfolded, had some upsets along the way. We do have some surprise teams that are amongst the Final Four in each division, Jason. Just your thoughts from last weekend in Dallas, and then I'll kind of chime in at what I saw in Houston.
Well, I got to spend the day on Saturday at the Ford Center in Frisco, and saw a couple big-time matchups, Sock and Lovejoy and Duncanville and DeSoto. And, man, I'm not going to lie. I debated on switching my pick from Sock to Lovejoy, or from Lovejoy to Sock, but I couldn't. I made that pick at the beginning of playoffs, so I couldn't move my pick, and I regretted it about midway through the first quarter, as Sock was just scoring on every single drive. I think they went 4 for 4 on offense, drives to touchdowns, and it opened things up and just really took control of that game. Kevin Henry Jennings.
It seems like they're playing at a different level. Like they were good. They were good all year, but they have really found something in the postseason and grabbed a hold of it, and they're playing at a different level than they were in the regular season.
Yeah, it's that offense. Kevin Henry Jennings committed to, I think, Missouri State, but he's starting to pick up offers. I think Sam Houston just offered, and but that guy, he is the straw that stirs the drink on offense, and he has got that offense rolling at a high rate. They've always been explosive. They've always had playmakers, but there have been inconsistencies there over the years and throughout this season, but they've really hit their stride on offense. And then that defense, Lovejoy has an explosive group of receivers, and they were no match for that secondary. Malik Muhammad, Javon Thomas, two of the best cornerbacks in 23, or for that matter, 22. They're special talents out there, and that whole entire secondary was just blanketing those guys. But Sock, hands down to me, after watching them, I don't know if there's a team that can beat them in 5A D2. The ISD bringing home a title for the first time, and I can't count that high. I can't.
Dallas Carter, maybe.
Carter, but they got it stripped, so Carter's not even recognized as a title winner. So this would be the first in a long, long time, and a really big accomplishment for Jason Todd and Sock, and just the ISD in general. There's a lot of positivity, and it was really cool seeing the amount of support both inside DISD and around, and people that just have connections to DISD and the Sock program rallying around that team to there's something special, it looks like, going on over there. And then Duncanville, DeSoto, I expected DeSoto to give a bigger test, a bigger battle this time around, but they've been putting up some good numbers in the playoffs. They've had a great playoff run, but Duncanville just proved to be too much to handle. They pulled away after it was tied 7-7. They pulled away for the 38-20 win. Malachi Medlock, just a bruise. I want to say he had like 230 yards rushing and several, 4 touchdowns or something. He was a workhorse, and it doesn't always look pretty, but he gets the job done, and he is that. He's the one, 3-4 yards a pop, and then he breaks one loose. And Colin Simmons had one of the funkiest little fumble recoveries I've seen in a while. And the big highlight for DeSoto was Jonte Cook's long touchdown, where he rips the ball away for DeSoto to tie the score at 7. But Yeah, they were few and far between after that with Duncanville pulling out.
Well, I'm glad because Duncanville was my state title pick. But we did see a lot of rematches like Duncanville DeSoto.
Yeah.
We saw one in Houston with Atascocita versus North Shore. Kind of the similar thing. It was close early. North Shore pulls away. I think their margin of victory was actually greater in the regional final round than it was in the regular season. But I wanted to start with at least my breakdown of the last weekend with a game that you and I were both looking forward to, and just College Station 26, Denton Ryan 21. Yeah. About like you expect. I know you picked Denton Ryan, but is that about the range that you thought the score would be?
Yeah. I mean, College Station's offense, you're not going to just keep it under wraps, even with a defense like Denton Ryan's. And I was a bit surprised that College Station was able to open it up there and take they got out to a 21-7 lead.
20-7, yep. And then
so
Denton Ryan battled back. Great catch by Austin Jordan, and then Anthony Hill. Yeah. Anthony Hill was the reason why it was close.
Monster
is because of Anthony Hill. And I think I called you after the game and I said, he is a lay-down number one player in the state in 2023. 5-star.
I've been trying to tell you.
Well, that's my first time to see him, in pads and game action. I've only seen him in camp.
But I tell you what, there's a couple of those guys up here in DFW with him and DJ Hicks. It's really
Toviano,
is hard to. I mean, but him and DJ, to me, those guys. I don't know if you got to see both of their highlight tapes. They both came out this last week, and it was both of them are just stupid good. Yeah. No, they're so dominant. I mean, explosive. And
College Station snaps the ball really fast, right? Yeah. So you'd hear Marquise Collins on the run. Anthony Hill on the tackle. About 5 seconds later, Marquise Collins on the run, Anthony Hill on the tackle.
Didn't we call that?
Yeah.
Didn't we call that matchup?
To kind of go back to what you said about the Duncanville running back, Malachi Medlock, the same fashion, Marquise Collins goes for 231 yards and 3 touchdowns against Denton Ryan's defense. And look, man.
That is special.
He is putting the state on notice in terms of high school football. He's putting the region on notice in terms of college football and offers. Vanderbilt offered right after the game. Vanderbilt was on the sideline, their coaching staff watching that game. They've offered Connor Lindgren, defensive tackle at College Station, and really trying to lock him down here late. Marquise Collins, I would be willing to bet. I think he's already the second best back in the state in our rankings.
He's been banging that drum for a while.
And he's moving up. He may end up being a top 2015 player in the state before this thing's all said and done, because you look at production and when it matters, and he's been great all year, but in the playoffs, he's almost rushed for 1,000 yards and like 14 or 15 touchdowns. Just an insane run. And College Station matches up with a team from DFW now in the semifinal in Mansfield Summit, a team that, much like College Station, probably their results they're greater than the sum of their individual parts. Mansfield Summit is a team that plays really well together. They don't have they have was it Joseph Adedire at defensive end, but not a ton of huge superstars like College Station. So I'll be there on Friday night.
Moses is one to watch, man. That dude can flat out hit. Yeah. He's a little bit short, a little bit sawed off, 5'10", I think, but man, he flies around, makes a lot of plays for Summit.
Yeah, so. and that's another intriguing matchup. I'll be there on Friday. But on Saturday, I made the trip down to Tomball ISD Stadium. Gorgeous facility. Just opened up this year. Just fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful facility right there off the new 99 loop in Houston. But went down there on the odd chance that Connor Wigman was going to play for Bridgeland. He passed protocol, but he passed protocol too late in the week. For him to be fully medically cleared to play in that game on Saturday. This was the wildest stretch in a high school football game, Jason, that I've ever been to. Okay. I think it was with 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It was 14-7 Tomball. Okay. And with 19 seconds to go in the third quarter, it was 41-7 Tomball. I've never seen a scoring run like that. And it was the Kel Hellam show. That kid, we talked about Marquise Collins. Nobody playing better football really at quarterback in the state than Kel Hellams and what he's done with a fourth-place team in their district and now going to a state semifinal, something that Tomball's never done. this kid
going to 500 in district.
They had to win against Klein in the final week of the regular season just to get in the playoffs. And now they're the Region 2 winners in 6A Division 2. And their prize is Denton Geyer this week. That's what you get. But with the way Kel Helms is playing, and I'll tell you what, Jason, I don't know what your plans are this week, but if you're that game's in Waco, so I don't think you're going to that. No, I know what your plans are.
Yeah.
We'll reveal those in a minute. Yeah. But what people are going to be surprised about if they go to that game, and if you're listening to this show and you're from Dallas, I would call Denton Geyer the favorite in that game, no question. But when you get into the stadium, you're going to be really surprised about how big and physical Tomball is on both lines of scrimmage. Really good-looking players along the defensive front and all the offensive front for Tomball. And Kel Helms is just that 5'10", 5'11" playmaker, gunslinger, no fear, runs around back there like Johnny Manziel, like Connor Wigman, and makes a ton of plays, and Tomball pulls away. And I do want to give a shout-out to Coach Kevin Flanagan, a guy I've known a long time. He's the head guy there at Tomball, was at Beaumont Westbrook for a while, and Aggie. So I'm sure people that listen to the show will appreciate that. And just, to do that, to go from fourth in your district to a regional championship, you just don't see that hardly ever in Texas high school football. And it is a real shot across the bow of the folks that say too many teams get into the playoffs. I think this entire playoff run has been like that. You've seen fourth-place teams, third-place teams make deep runs. And so you never know. When we're talking about 15 to 18-year-old kids, you never know what's going to happen on a Friday night, Jason. So go ahead and take me. We'll reveal where Jason's going on the Texas High School Football Show, TexAgs Texas High School Football Show. We'll reveal where Jason's going this week.
Well, I'm going to leave the great state of Texas, and I'm going to head over to Louisiana to check out Zachary and Ponchatoula. Eli Holstein with safety Jacoby Matthews on the other side in the 5A state championship game in Louisiana. So should be a big-time matchup. Both of those teams have been rolling through the playoffs. Holstein has looked phenomenal. I think last week he completed 80% of his passes. So he is he's got it rolling down there with Zachary, and it should be a fun matchup on Saturday night in New Orleans.
So going to the Dome, that's what they say over there. We're going to the Dome. So Jason will cross the Sabine River and hang out on Bourbon Street in the French Quarter and have a good time there in Louisiana, checking out the state finals over there. And I will be, like I said, College Station Mansfield Summit. It's at Waco's Hewitt Midway Stadium, Panther Stadium, right there on the west side of Waco, I believe. And then on Saturday, I may stay the night in Waco Friday night and just make the drive down I-35 on Saturday and check out Lake Travis versus North Shore at Round Rock's Reeve Stadium. I'm guessing that North Shore lost that flip, huh? Because that's about a 2.5 hour drive for the Mustangs from the east side of Houston.
I used to live just south of that stadium. It's a great place to watch a ball game. So
I've heard nothing but good things.
Fun there. Yeah,
and maybe if I get there super early, I can go to Round Rock Donuts.
Yeah, shoot, man. There's plenty of places around there. Yeah. There's some good eating. So.
All right, man. Well, be careful. Next week, I guess we'll be filming this show on National Signing Day. So we'll have the TexAgs typical radio show. You may be out on the road. I don't know how we're going to string this together for next week.
We'll figure it out.
We may have to do it a different day.
On Tuesday or something like that.
But we'll be making our state final picks, and we're going to do it across all classes. And I believe those
and I know I'm going to have some changes in my initial picks, especially after last week.
Yeah, I've got some of my guys that have gone out in week one, round one of the playoffs. So we'll make state championship picks next week, and then I'll be getting ready to come to your neck of the woods and get a hotel and hang out in Dallas for the weekend and potentially cover a few local teams here in Bryan College Station, but also the entirety of the event. And that's such a fun. That's one of my favorite things on my recruiting calendar. Are the Texas State Championships. For Jason Howell, I'm Ryan Brauninger. That's the TexAgs High School Football Show. One more week, state championship show next week. Thank you guys for tuning in.